This is the Sabbath School lesson for the fourth quarter, 2021.
Lesson 5 from the series Present Truth in Deuteronomy is titled The Stranger in Your Gates. It's ready for teaching on October 30, and I'm Percy Harrold. Monday, October 25. Love the Stranger. Amid these admonitions, Moses declares in Deuteronomy 10:14, "Indeed, heaven and the highest heavens belong to the Lord your God, also the earth with all that is in it." What a powerful expression of the sovereignty of the Lord, an idea found in other places in the Bible as well, such as Psalm 24 verse 1. "The earth is the Lord's and all its fullness, the world and those who dwell therein." Read Deuteronomy 10:17-19. What other declaration does Moses make about the Lord here? Even more important, what does God command his people as a result of that declaration? Deuteronomy 10, beginning at verse 17. "For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, the great God, mighty and awesome, who shows no partiality nor takes a bribe. He administers justice for the fatherless and the widow, and loves the stranger, giving him food and clothing. Therefore love the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt." Yahweh is not only the sovereign of heaven and earth, but he also is the God of gods and Lord of lords, as we've just read in verse 17. This doesn't mean that there are other gods, lesser gods, such as the supposed gods the pagans around them worshipped. Rather, it was a way of talking about more than just his being the only God. Verse 39 of chapter 32 reads, "Now see that I, even I, am he, and there is no God besides me." It asserts his total supremacy over all other powers, real or imagined, either in earth or on earth. The text says too that he is the great God, mighty and awesome, who shows no partiality nor takes a bribe. All of this is part of the bigger message. Yahweh is your God, and you, his people, need to obey him. What a powerful contrast is being presented here as well. Yes, Yahweh is the God of gods and Lord of lords, the sovereign ruler and sustainer of the creation, as we read in Colossians 1:16 and 17. But he also cares about the fatherless, the widow, and the stranger, and he shows that care by ministering to their immediate physical needs. Colossians 1:16 reads, "For by him all things were created that are in heaven and that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created through him and for him. And he is before all things, and in him all things consist." The God who takes note if a sparrow falls to the ground in Matthew 10:29 knows about the plight of those on the margins of society. Matthew 10:29, "Are not 2 sparrows sold for a copper coin, and not one of them falls to the ground apart from your Father's will?" In other words, the Lord is telling the people that, okay, maybe you are chosen, you are special, and I love you, but I love others too, including the needy and helpless among you. And just as I love them, you must love them as well. This is one of your covenant obligations, and an important one too. So to finish today, read Psalm 146, verses 5-10. What is the message of the psalm that reflects what God is saying here? And what should this mean to us today as Christians? Psalm 146, beginning at verse 5. "Happy is he who has the God of Jacob for his help, whose hope is in the Lord his God, who made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, who keeps truth forever, who executes justice for the oppressed, who gives food to the hungry. The Lord gives freedom to the prisoners. The Lord opens the eyes of the blind. The Lord raises those who are bowed down. The Lord loves the righteous. The Lord watches over the strangers. He relieves the fatherless and widow, but The way of the wicked he turns upside down. The Lord shall reign forever. Your God, O Zion, to all generations. Praise the Lord. This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. Sponsored by the Sabbath School Department and distributed through Hope Channel Australia, this podcast is also redistributed by Hope Channel Germany, Christian Record Services for the Blind, and It Is Written. It is also available on SoundCloud and through multiple podcast distributors, including Apple iTunes. Remember, God is always faithful.